So exactly what I said could happen and experts worried would happen, well, it did happen. It happened last night. I want to break down what's going on, but there's a lot of protests that are still going on around the United States. One protest was broken up just recently. We have some coverage of that. I want to show you some video footage of what went down last night. But the concern is that we will not see the end of this until the end of the Israel and Hamas war. And that could go on for many more months. So I'm going to break down what's going on, why the FBI director is still very concerned, and what you should be looking at moving forward. So all I ask is one thing. Takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So as I've shown you multiple times, the FBI director, Christopher Wray, has been sounding the alarm on the heightened threat environment. It says FBI director Christopher Wray has warned lawmakers that the threat of terrorism has risen to a whole other level since October 7th. That is when Hamas initially attacked Israel. Then Israel came back and responded and have not let up. Israel has been relentless at trying to end Hamas. But in the meantime, Israel's attacks on Hamas has also taken the lives of tens of thousands of Palestinians. And that's what people are protesting. But I want to show you this, okay? Here's a video. This video right here that I want to show you says 200 plus pro-Israeli counter-protesters are attacking the UCLA pro-Palestinian encampment. They started beating on one student and stomped another under a plywood board, per the LA Times and S.A. Finazali or whatever, on the scene. Where's UCLA security? Look at this.
No place in this world. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Just one guy standing in front of all the boards. Everyone else right there trying to get him. The cameraman yelling, "Stop."
Hey, stop, 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 stop.
That is what the FBI has been concerned with, is all it takes is one person getting injured. One attack, that's it. Now, this was just one person standing in front of all the boards, and I want to show this to you, okay? Here's another video. Let me play this for you really quick and kind of get an idea of where that person was standing in front of.
We are at UCLA where we're witnessing a clash between pro-Palestinian and pro-Israeli supporters here in the quad at UCLA.
That's what everybody has been concerned about, is pro-Palestinian and pro-Israeli supporters, clashing and going at each other. That's exactly what we saw last night. We've seen glimpses of it. We've seen very peaceful protests where we've seen supporters of both sides come together and talk. It was a heated discussion, but they just talk. Last night, it was something different. And that could actually set us up for even more protests or potentially more violence. So let's keep watching.
We have CHP and LAPD skirmish lines. They're on the scene.
You see the line right
clear
here.
This area. Just hours ago, supporters from both sides were involved in a bit of a conflict between each other. As you can see, there's a line of tents here. This line of tents was actually created to make a division between the two groups. And there was a number of just plywood, whatever they could find. Plywood I saw pallets, whatever can be used to create that division was set up here to have a division line or a wall between both groups.
What I think is interesting, and you can't see it on the screen, but in the chat on that, somebody somebody commented and said, wait, so walls actually work. They were trying to set up a wall, and that wall was to protect themselves from the opposition. Isn't that exactly what the United States tried to do when trying to protect the U.S. from other countries? Or, of course, we put it on the southern border, which is the U.S.-Mexico border, but it was to protect the United States not just from people coming from Mexico, but from South America as well, right? From other countries coming into South and Central America and coming into the U.S. Now, here's what things are looking like right now. Just to give you an idea. This is what's happening. This is the exact same thing that I just showed you. This right here, this line of tents, this is what you were seeing on the previous video, is that line of tents. And the reason why it's pretty much dead right now, and there's some media people standing over to the right, is actually pretty simple. And it is because police had to go in and arrest people. It says riot police at UCLA campus close in after night of violent anti-Israel clashes. It says New York City Police Department officers were called to deal with repeated acts of violence at the City University of New York and to end the occupation of Hamilton Hall at Columbia University. Meanwhile, riot police were called to UCLA's campus after clashes between protesters and counter-demonstrators escalated. It says, here's a little post right here just from an hour ago. Breaking news, the NYPD, 300 arrested at Columbia University and City College of New York. Keep in mind that based off of what we've been getting from some of these police departments, some of their reports, is that the people that are being arrested, these are not students. These are just average Americans, regular people. Okay, that's who they're arresting. They're not arresting students. So if you think that, all these, and again, here's a problem, because schools are receiving billions of dollars from taxpayers. It says billions of taxpayer dollars fund schools with anti-Israel protests. More than $7 billion in taxpayer money has been given to schools that have fostered anti-Israel protests in recent weeks and months. That's concerning, right? Well, House Republicans are launching an investigation into the federal funding for universities amid the campus protest. And what they're discussing is potentially pulling funding from these universities. Guess what? Like the police reports have said, the majority of the people being arrested are not students. So just regular people coming in protesting on a college campus could actually get colleges their funding pulled. How crazy is that? At the same time, many people that are protesting are asking that the U.S. government does not send any additional funding to Israel. That's what they're asking. Do not send any money to Israel. Okay, because the pro-Palestinian supporters are saying that no, if you send money to Israel, give them more munition, more weaponry, it is going to cause more destruction, more chaos, and more loss of life in Gaza. Now, here's what I can tell you. The threats that are still out there, okay, these are actually coming faster. We're seeing more threats. The intensity is increasing, right? It's intensifying. We knew this was going to happen. There was a lot of concerns that it was going to happen closer to the election. The problem is it's happening now. The reason why this is going to be a problem is for multiple reasons. We are still waiting on former President Donald Trump and President Biden to really get into the swing of things and start their campaigning. They've started a little bit, but it will happen in the next few months where both candidates will get out on the campaign trail, go to different states, and they will go and give speeches and rallies and try to get people on board to vote for them. When that happens, the concern is we are going to see protests at the rallies. Okay? If this happens, there will likely be more injuries, potentially and hopefully not loss of life, but we just don't know. All I can tell you right now is what happened last night on a small scale is exactly what the FBI has been concerned with and are worried is going to happen in the near future. So I will leave you with that. That is what we know as of today. As soon as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all the latest news and updates. But as of today, that is all we know. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.